We also saw a growth between the spring of 2013 and spring 2014. He's overall a level 2 with 483 points. For student C, last links, he's an overall level 1 with 400 points in 2013 and 425 points for the spring of 2014. Now, methodology. Our school has been divided in 3 small learning communities, or SLCs, the way we call it. This was planned as part of a redesign in an effort to improve the quality of our schools in our district in general. Each SLC has an assistant principal who functions as a leader, a secretary, and a security guard. The small learning communities also have 3 reading language arts teachers and 3 math teachers, 1 per grade level. That's 6, 7, and 8. There are 2 science teachers and 2 social studies teachers who service 2 grade levels. Those levels are 7 and 8. And there is also 1 ESOL teacher per community. I am one of those ESOL teachers in Hill City. That's the name of my community. So these are the results for NWEA, and these are the reading scores. The goal is to have 40% of the students reach proficiency. Our students in our small learning community show that we only 15.9% reach proficiency. Unfortunately, most of our ELLs score low. As part of the idea of increasing these results is the literacy coaches are instructing and helping teachers to incorporate centers or stations within the classroom, so where each station will have the students who are at grade level or the same reading level, and the teachers will, help the students or the centers that show the most needs. Unfortunately, these teachers are staying at the differentiated instruction stage. They are not looking at the big picture, which is to reach the objectives and the goals for each student. Another area that they were tested on in NWA was math. In math was very concerning, because we want the students, 40% of the students to be at proficiency, and only 6.7% reach proficiency. And again, our ELLs, most of them, part of this 36 was low. They showed low, and that's very concerning. So looking at this problem, and part of it was that they failed to hire a full-time math teacher since the beginning. We started the school year with 2 or 1 math teacher for each grade level, but unfortunately for different reasons they had to resign, and so those students were not receiving instruction in math, proper instruction, so the scores were not raising. Now, my proposal was to have a 2-week math remedial lessons for the ELLs only, because if it was a problem for the whole community, our ELLs were at even more disadvantaged because of the lack of language. The advantages of doing this: the math teacher students demonstrated grow with. The math teacher that I chose to work with is also my mentee for teams, and I have worked with him for 2 years. Another advantage to this was collaboration across these SLCs, a co-teaching environment which has been proven to work, done in the right way, and use of shelter pedagogy. What were the steps that we took? Step number 1, we provided the students with a pre-test. We wanted to see where they were, and we found out that they had difficulty understanding directions and word problems. These are some examples of students A, B, and C, and as we can see, some of the answers were left blank, and most of the answers were not answered correctly. They were trying, but they just didn't have the knowledge to do this. Then we went to use the HES depth of knowledge, also known as DOK, and we concluded that our students, according to the data that we had collected, were at level 2. Level 2, which is skills and concepts. Based on this, we continued to structure our lessons. Each lesson was 45 minutes long. The co-teaching model that we chose was 1 teach, 1 assist, where rules were enforced on a daily basis. Punctuality, be prepared with your own materials, and show respect more than anything. All the activities were timed, so the students wouldn't have time to relax and talk. and these work very well. Technology, we use a smart board and an Elmo, which is a real-time projector. Materials, chart paper and markers, worksheets, personal whiteboards, everything that we provided the students with so they could practice the concepts on their own. And each lesson was also provided with vocabulary for them to be able to understand the concepts. We also use scaffolding and higher order thinking questions. The scaffolding was done in such a way that the students were taken step by step through the math problems and until they were ready to write the expressions. Questions, higher order thinking questions like, what do we multiply? How do you multiply? Where's the reason for doing this? What advantages are you going to get when you multiply? The students were answering these questions very well. My conclusions. For student A, his motivation is to become a doctor. He has strong oral skills and he is a risk taker. This is some of his work in the post-test, and he showed to grasp the concepts very well. Student B's motivation is to become an engineer. Again, he was confident throughout the study and he demonstrated improvement as seen before, the comparison between the pre-test and the post-test. He was also trying to help his peers at the table when they didn't understand the concept. So that's what makes me say that he was very confident throughout the study. Student C, his motivation is to become a professional soccer player. In his country, he was part of, or he went to a soccer school, what they call. So sports are really big in his family. He has impressive language growth. Spanish is his third language. And considering that, he has been using words like